Hi, it's Lauren again. I did my first vlog last week and I said that I'd be doing these vlog. I said I'd be doing these every week and a day. So today's Monday. So I spoke to a couple of people about doing this vlog, and I spoke to my brother, and he said, we sort of came up with together that I should call this the Bipolar Diaries, and every week talk about different aspects of the bipolar that I have and I live with. So I'm going to be doing that, and the first bit I'm going to be talking about is what happened and how did I end up with bipolar now. Did I always have it? I don't know, maybe. So basically I had postpartum psychosis when like 4 years ago, after I had my son, and I'll explain a little bit about that first of all. So basically I think the contributing factors were my nan passed away a month before I had my son, and the funeral was just a day before I had my son. I was thinking a lot of irrational things, but not telling anyone about them. So I was becoming obsessed with things, conspiracy theories, alien stuff, things that I'm still interested in and I still think about, but I was doing it in a kind of very secluded way. I was keeping a lot to myself. One weird thing that I found, when I was pregnant, I found out that I'm Rh negative, rhesus negative, and I had to have an injection so that basically my antibodies didn't kill any future children I plan to have. And also, yeah, like my body can attack any rhesus positive children that happen to come into the world. I found that fascinating. I researched that. Like, rhesus negative means you have no monkey gene. Yeah, so I mean, you can do your own research on this. It's very interesting, and you know, I'm sure there's a lot of rhesus negative people out there. They're thinking about having children, and you know, but it's something that played on my mind, and I thought, wow, I haven't got any monkey gene. What does that make me? Does that make me an alien? Like, what is that? And then I got quite obsessed with aliens, and then I looked up Anunnaki and everything. So a lot of that, when I became unwell and I became psychotic, it became like a real paranoia. Like, the aliens, are they friendly? Are they not? Are they watching me? Can I communicate with them telepathically? Are they helping me? Are they, did they cause this? And yeah, it was a very strange, lot of jumbled up mess of stuff going on in my head. And every week I'm going to try and like unpack it. So there's my first little box that I've unpacked. Like, yeah, I think my problem was that I was becoming almost obsessive with things that were fantastical. And that's something I still do. But I share it now. So, or I write about it, or I do it in like a positive way, or I want to go into energy healing. So I believe in the spirit world. I believe in shamanism and what they, do with healing energy and healing souls and things. I believe in that. And I'm doing a course on it at the moment. I'm doing it all very productively, rather than just watching YouTube videos, becoming obsessed with things and letting it take over my thoughts and my life, and my thoughts becoming very strange. And I thought that my son was, could be an alien, and but then also my very rational fears, which were that I didn't really know how, it was my first child, so I didn't know what to do with him. And it's a very, very stressful time being a mum for the first time, and people just don't realize that. And I did hypnobirthing, which was great, and lots of people find it amazing, but it made me believe that you bond straight away and everything is beautiful, and your pregnancy needs to be without drugs if you can, otherwise it can harm your child. And you know that, and I had all the drugs in the world. I had an emergency cesarean, so I had all the drugs, and I also had back labor, which is like just the worst. And so I asked for drugs, and I thought, what a terrible person I am. Like, well, how could I, you know? So I've messed up my child forever. We're never going to bond. And, you know, because I had the cesarean, I was very wary of the fact that if that hadn't happened, I might have died. He might have died. One of us is not meant to be here. That played on my mind a lot. It wasn't a natural birth. So it was a, you know, a medically assisted birth. So what does that, you know, it was a real like fear of the unknown mixed with, you know, some rational fears of just like, I've never had a baby. What if I mess this up? What if he becomes a serial killer? Like, genuinely, I've thought that, like, because I didn't have the natural amazing birth that I was meant to have, because I didn't dilate fully, and if he had come out naturally, I would have torn inside and blood and everything, and, you know, potentially death. So, you know, I had to sort of go, okay, you know, I had to go, oh, well, I'll tell you what I did afterwards, but, you know, like what I've done since then. But we're focusing on my psychosis at the moment. So my psychosis mainly was fears of fantastical things and fears of quite rational things that were sort of hidden underneath the fantastical. And my brain just went into delusion world. Like, this is not something that happens to everyone, and I don't want to scare any potential mothers who think they might get this just because of the things I've mentioned. Maybe you're you're an anxious person, you worry about these things that I've mentioned as well. You know, he was unwell. Mason was unwell. He was taken by ambulance to hospital when he was a day old, because we'd been released, and then that night we got taken back into hospital because he had a high infection marker. So I was with him for the next 6 days. I already hadn't slept properly for 3 days. So I was then with him for 6 days in hospital. I didn't sleep for that whole time. That was 9 days. And that was the main thing, the contributing factor to me becoming unwell. Lack of sleep, overactive mind that I've always had. I've always been anxious. I've always worried about things that are silly. Also an interest in the fantastical. So I like conspiracy theories. I like, you know, watching spirit science videos, and, you know, like I'm interested in life after death. I had linking it to my past, as I've said before in my previous video. That is what I'm going to do, talk about my psychosis, link it to my past. So when I was 17 or 18, I smoked something that I shouldn't have smoked, something naughty. I don't think it was the first time I did it. I think I'd done it a couple of times before, but I'd had alcohol at the same time. So, but yeah, I smoked some weed. It was a very strange experience. I was enjoying myself. I was thinking about stuff, and all of a sudden my brain just said, you can't move. And I couldn't move. And my brain started saying to me, okay, this is the moment you're going to die. And I don't remember what I was doing because I blacked out. But my friends who were with me said that I started to have a fit. I was throwing myself backwards and forwards, like I lost my hairband out of my hair because I was like, you know, throwing myself back and forwards saying I don't want to die. And I don't remember that because in my mind I was floating backwards and sort of reliving my life, but not in a visual way, in a sort of like blur, but I could feel myself coming backwards, falling backwards whilst I was having a fit in real life. So I was detached from that real life, and I just started praying to God and just saying, if you let me live, I'm not ready to die. If you let me live, you know, I'll be a better person. I'll do this with my life, and I'll dedicate my life to being a good person, basically. Not that I was a terrible person before. I just was, I I didn't think a lot about anything. I didn't really, I had quite low self-confidence, so I just sort of didn't have much self-worth, and I just do silly things and say silly things, and I didn't really put a lot of thought into what I was doing and saying and my purpose in life and everything. So, I was 17, 18. Some people have that when they're that age, and that's great, but I didn't. So, but yeah, basically, I came out of it, and my partner, who is my partner now, his name's Paul, he stroked under my chin or did something to try and wake me up, and it worked, and I woke up. So yeah, when I was, now I'm with him, we've been together nearly 9 years, we've got a son together, and my brain found it just fantastical that he had helped me come back from death. I don't think I died then. It was just a strange experience. But after that, I used to get very over anxious. I used to get panic attacks. Like I'd freak out. For like 2 years, I had panic attacks after that. And after that experience, because I just didn't understand what had happened, and my brain was thinking, I remember after I came out of the fit, I went home and I laid in bed, and my brain was just thinking these random mathematical problems that were sort of like, it was like a flow diagram, like if I think this, then this will happen, and then this, and then if I go here, then I can get out of this. And I thought that this was how my brain was going to work for the rest of my life. I couldn't be normal. I was just thinking so deeply, and it was very scary. And I said to myself, go to sleep. If you wake up and you're okay, dedicate your life to God, basically. I wasn't a Christian. I was raised like anyone, I suppose. My school did hymns, and like there was vague Christianity about school. We did the nativity, stuff like that, stuff they don't really do in schools now, so try and keep it more secular. But it was a very strange experience. I didn't dedicate my life to God, but in a way I kind of did, because I always wondered about life after death. I always wondered about God. I always wondered what was going on. I will go into more about that in coming weeks. But yeah, basically, so that's a little bit about my psychosis. I'll talk more about that next week. A little bit about my past. Had a pretty scary experience. Thought I died. Next week, I might tell you about when I was psychotic. I thought I died again, and why I did. And whether I did, I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe if you're watching this, please leave a comment and ask questions, or any ideas of what I can, if you want to know more, what do you want to know about, I can tell you, happy to share what's going on, so yeah, basically, also now, so I'm talking about my 5 things every week. So I've talked about my psychosis, my past, my present. I've gone bike riding 2 times this week to work. Didn't lose any weight. Still trying to lose that weight. Going for my weight loss journey with the, it's my bipolar diaries. So having olanzapine, which is the antipsychotic drug that I'm on, it makes you gain weight, makes you crave carbs. So I guess it's sort of linked with this wanting to lose weight to my psychosis and my bipolar and what's going on. So yeah, I'm still trying. Next week, more bike riding, more salads, less rubbish food that everyone knows rubbish food doesn't make you thin. So yeah, that's the plan. I haven't got long. There's 40 seconds. Okay. So my journey, so where I want to go with this, having bipolar and stuff, I really want to get into energy healing, and I'm learning shamanic healing at the moment. It's very interesting. I've just done module 1 of shamanic healing. If anyone's interested, I'll send you the link to where I'm doing it. And my goals, so by next week, £2 weight loss. I also want to do yoga in the mornings and bike ride to work every day, eat more salads. I need a fifth thing. Go to bed early and do meditation. I'm doing meditation insight timer, cello meditation. I love it. So keep on with that every day. Take care. Thanks for listening. Bye.